Brenner, and I'm here with the wonderful
Brandon McInnis. Hello, hello.
So let's talk about some of the most important things about bringing voices to performances and bringing them to characters. Why do you think that making sure that it's human voices are the ones that we need?
The entire reason that people buy media is because they feel connected to the stories that are being told, right? They feel connected to the human experiences or things that the characters go through that they can relate with. Those are all very human things, right? And so I think when you take that human element away, something is lost, and I think that people will always be able to tell.
I concur totally. We see people totally turned off by even AI voices in games or anything of like an AI generated content because it's not what they want to experience. Mm-hmm. If we want to have anything androids, we want Yoko Taro to give us those kind of games in which the human emotions are brought through the performances of the character, and then we get depression as Yoko Taro intended.
Exactly.
So tell us some more about some of the things that you love to bring to your performances and how those have connected with people over time.
I love bringing trauma to performances. Case study 1, Gyutaro in Demon Slayer. That was probably the most intense voice I've ever done. He goes through a lot in that show, right? And then we delve deep into his backstory and everything that he had to deal with growing up in the entertainment district, you know, and
it was powerful.
It was powerful. I thought it was excellent writing in the show, and I'm very proud of that.
And localization as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because it's not just the actors. The adaptive script writers work very hard as well.
And all the engineers, all the production staff,
everyone,
who are all the people who we love and respect and have experience doing things in, because like you also yourself speak Japanese fluently and have been a translator for some very wonderful people. Can you tell us some of your experiences?
Yes. So I was dragged kicking and screaming into translation. I did not aim to do it necessarily. I remember being a junior in college, and I studied abroad for about half a year, and I lived with a Japanese family for about 6 months in Chiba, which is just east of Tokyo, and I was volunteering at an anime convention later that year, and I worked on medical staff, and I always loved going to the concerts, and there was a press pit, and there was a reporter who their interpreter was unable to interpret for something because they got sick. And she was freaking out. She's like, "Will you speak Japanese? Could you just come interpret for me? I'm interviewing the band." The band was Versailles. This very, insane visual K band. You know Versailles?
I've seen Versailles before.
The gowns. Oh my gosh. They're so good. They're incredible artists. But so that was the first band I interpreted for. That led to many other bands. I interpreted for D, Bloodstained Child, and Nobuo Uematsu, the Final Fantasy composer, and his band, the Earthbound Papas, multiple times, and that was really cool. And then I got a job in Tokyo working for a tech company as a translator and interpreter. I was the CEO's interpreter for 13 months, and that was wild. He liked doing all sorts of crazy things. One time he was like, "Brandon, we're going to sponsor a hackathon." I was like, "Okay, let's sponsor a hackathon, and it's going to be in Sweden." "Oh, okay," because I have a contact at Uppsala University. I was like, "Okay. And it's going to be next week." And I was like, "Oh, we're flying to Sweden next week. Great, awesome." It was a little chaotic.
These also sound like some missions out of some games.
They do. It did feel that way at times.
Yeah, it's so funny when they can bring us sometimes in for our experiences, and then that can lead to other things. I had the pleasure of helping the Japanese consulate help educate on some of the things for American pop culture. One of my favorite things is they started calling me Lawrence Dono.
Oh, Lawrence Dono. Whoa.
Yeah.
You're so elevated. Wow.
That's when it comes from the ambassador.
Wow. Dang. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I know what this means. Well, yeah, let's talk more about the other things with performances, and what do you love seeing how fans react to your performances?
Oh, I love connecting with fans over shows. I think what a lot of fans don't realize is many times we're fans of the same shows. And, we sort of lived these experiences as the characters, as actors, right? So it's really fun to sort of just nerd out with other fans about shows.
That's like sometimes if you've hung out with Greg Ayers, just how knowledgeable Greg is in anime.
Oh, yes.
Extremely.
He knows a ton.
It's like, well, if you remember in the manga or with Sonny, like, would extremely know some mangas or everything. It's like, wow, you know everything.
Yeah.
And, and sometimes it was before the age of the wikis where people could look things up.
You just had to know.
Yeah, that's like Sam Witwer in Star Wars.
Oh,
In some charity events, Sam Witwer, they would give him like, they'd give some of the other actors like, a softball question of like, what was the main battle, what was the main planet for a lot of the heroes of Star Wars? That would be Tatooine. Where it's like, now in the Legacy series, which Empire official was the one who caused this?
Oh my gosh.
And of course, Sam Witwer knew the answer.
He had all of the knowledge.
Yeah, it's like the only question is who knows more, him or Dave Filoni? That'd be fun watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's some of the other things of what are some of your favorite experiences and things that you've seen, or some of the, as you said, you like to bring trauma. What have been some of the more powerful things that you've been surprised you can bring out in yourself in performances?
Ooh, let's see. Well, obviously Gyutaro. Gyutaro was one. Another one was I voiced the protagonist in the latest Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Engage.
Christian's game.
Well,
cup of tea,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah, cup of tea. That a lot happens. I don't want to spoil anything. Major spoilers,
That's a fun note. You never want to put anything that can even be considered a spoiler in your visual reel ever.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yes.
I talked about that with Brooke Joblers. I was like, half the things I'm in, it's like if I put anything else, like, oh dear God, after like the first 2 minutes, everything becomes a spoiler.
Which is so sad because those are some of the best
yeah,
moments.
exactly.
Right? Yeah. Well, stuff happens in that game that I had to dig very deep for, and it was very sad. But I'm also very proud of that. We aim to bring reality to these performances, right? Mm-hmm. Acting is living truthfully in imaginary circumstances, right? So anytime we can do that, it's like the highest goal. Right?
It's some of the most fun, and then some of the ways you see that can connect with people, whether that be through anime dubbing or games or even live action dubbing. Because I know in my experience, I've actually used it to help educate on other things. I've been in a dub that had aspects of Slovakian Holocaust survivors, which I didn't even know existed.
Wow.
And then I helped use that to help educate people on like how to identify things on genocide and hate. So we can bring and do even more good with the roles that we play by learning and then helping using our experience to educate others, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then even just one of the best things is that we can bring out the fun for people with our roles because we can bring the intensity and the seriousness and then some of the fun and wacky, which I think is some of the...
We gotta have our comfort shows, right? We have to have our comfort shows too.
Yeah, it's like laid back, cozy show, and then basically, oh my God, or then in some cases in anime, oh, this used to be a very cozy show. Then there's that one episode.
And we don't talk about that episode.
No, it's like, oh no, I'm sad now. But hey, this has been really great, and I have truly enjoyed speaking with you and getting your insights on all these things.
Of course.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for chatting with me, Lauren.
Awesome. Thank you.